The title of our talk this morning is Dancing with Your Demons. So to begin with, let's just kind of unpack that title. What's a demon? Well, a demon, of course, is not a physical reality, or at least not in the sense that I'm using it here, but it's a demon within our own psyche, within our own life experience. Feels like a demon, you see, even though it may be part of ourself. We have our physically related demons. They may be chronic illness or chronic pain or some disease or some difficulty with the body. We have our psychological demons, anxiety, depression, judgments, low self-esteem, etc., etc. We have our relational demons. We have problems with people. It seems to be the same problem no matter what person is at the other end of it. We may have financial demons or economic demons or work demons, but I think we're all familiar with these issues that seem to be showing up chronically in our life, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and some would say lifetime after lifetime. That's really chronic. So we know what the demons are, or we can relate to them. So I might just ask you to take a moment and respond to this question, which is, what are the demons in your life? What's the big one? What are some of the little ones? We can all relate to them. And even if the demon is in the form of another person, that's usually mirroring something within ourselves. That external demon is harmless if it doesn't find a place to land within ourselves, within our own psyche. So I'm not saying there's not toxic people or situations in the world. There certainly is. But they have little power over us if we don't let them in and find a place to land and grow. So let's talk about dancing with your demons. But even before I do that, I might answer the question, why in the hell would anybody want to dance with their demons? You say? Well, let's look at the alternatives. You can ignore them. Does that work? It hasn't for anybody I've known. You could try it, but it doesn't work for long. We can fight with them, try to kill them. Does that work? No, it seems like that just feeds them, doesn't it? The more anger and judgment and resistance we have to our demons, why they feed on that energy. It's kind of like throwing gasoline on a fire. So why not dance? It's a lot more fun than fighting. It's a lot more fun than resisting. In fact, I just have this fantasy of what if every enemy in the world got together and danced with one another? Would we be enemies for very long? I don't think we could, you see. So that's one of the first criteria in this dance with the demon, is see if I cannot see it as an enemy. See if I can see it as a teacher or something here to awaken me. If we dance with someone, we're connected with that person in some way. That connection is usually some type of rhythm. You know, we can only dance with someone if we're both hearing the same music, right? I mean, if someone's hearing a waltz and somebody's hearing a salsa and they're trying to dance together, it's not going to work too well, you see. So in order to dance, we have to find the music that we both hear. So how do we do that with a demon, with this nasty part of ourself? Connecting in a way that looks at the demon not as an enemy, but as a part of ourself that needs something, that needs to be loved, it needs to be paid attention to, and it needs something that it hasn't received. That's what makes it demonic, is when we have an unmet need chronically. It's like locking up an animal in our basement, you see. It's going to get very angry, being ignored and starved and abused. We all have those parts of ourselves that are locked up in basements and closets. And those parts of ourselves may seem demonic, but they're really simply wounded, and they need healing, they need love, and they need our attention. So listening, sometimes asking the demon, what do you need? What do you want? What's causing you to hurt? How are you feeling? Talking to it as if it were a wounded friend. Or if you can't consider it a friend, at least a neutral person. Imagine you're visiting it in the hospital. What's the problem? What are your symptoms? So we develop a relationship with it rather than try to destroy it or push it away. And in dancing, sometimes we lead, sometimes we follow, right? A dance is learning the body language of your partner. And so as we begin to develop the relationship with this part of ourselves, sometimes we take the lead and we say, no, you can't act that way. Maybe it's an angry part of ourselves. That if we just let it go unbridled, maybe it might say something or hurt somebody that's not at all helpful. So we say no. But then on the other hand, sometimes we need to let it lead. You see, we need to follow and just say, tell me what you need. Tell me what you want. Maybe if we're in a safe place, let yourself act it out in a way that's not going to hurt yourself or someone else. You see? Maybe writing it down, journaling can be helpful. Art, drawing, sometimes voice dialogue, letting it speak can be very helpful, you see. So we are our own exorcist, so to speak. Only we do it not with holy water and crosses necessarily, but with love and with our own heart, you see. There's a story I love from Tibetan Buddhism about a yogi, a saint, who lived about 1,000 years ago, and his name was Milarepa. Milarepa was he was a hermit. He lived in the mountains. He lived in a cave alone for many, many years. Lived a very simple life, and every day he would go out for long walks, 2-3 hours. And one day it's said that he went out for one of his walks, and when he came back, he saw 7 demons inside of his house. 7 nasty demons. And he looked at them and he said, "Get out. You don't belong here. Get out." And 3 of them disappeared. So he shouted louder, "Get out." Nothing happened. And he shouted again. And he said, "Well, this isn't going to work." So he said, "Well, tell you what. Stay here as long as you want. Have a party. Let's dance. Let's celebrate. Let's have fun." And when he did that, 3 more demons disappeared. But there was one demon that just would not go away. No matter what he offered him, this big, mean, ugly demon would not go away. And day after day, week after week, this demon kept hanging around, just destroying everything in his home. Finally, Milarepa said, "Okay, I've given you everything I have, and that's not enough. So now I give you myself." And he put his head in the demon's mouth and said, "Take my life if you wish." And that demon disappeared. So there's a great teaching in that, in how to work with our demons. Some of our demons we can get rid of relatively quickly. We can just say, "Get out." And the way we do this is not by screaming at them, but by listening to these stories and these voices that come up and simply saying, "No, I won't go there." You know, if somebody cuts you off on the freeway or somebody criticizes you and there's this attempt or this impulse to fight back or to go into some story, you can just say, "No, I'm not going to do that." And that sometimes works. I won't go there. So we're saying, "No, I'll sit this dance out. Don't want to do this dance. Thank you, some other time." Some of our demons will go away. The little demons, they'll go away. But a lot of them don't go away just with saying, "No, I won't go there." Doesn't seem to matter. They're still there. They still keep coming back. Oftentimes, these are the more chronic demons, the depression or loneliness or, whatever it is that we're working with in our life. So some of these demons we need to just open our heart to. Open our arms, open our hands. Say, "Welcome. Welcome, let's dance. Let's dance with open arms. Let's dance with an open heart." I see you not as an enemy, but as a friend. And eventually, many of our demons will disappear, because the demons often are fed by our resistance. The very act of accepting and relating to them begins the healing process right away. You know how it is if there's somebody that's you've seen as an enemy for a long time. The very fact that you begin speaking with them, relating to them, having a meal with them, that's the beginning. And when we dance with them, why, that's even more, you see. But then there are some of the big, ugly, mean demons, right, that just won't go away. And these are the demons that seem to plague us our entire life. Maybe a chronic illness or ailment, physical ailment. Maybe a lifelong experience of depression or chronic anxiety or whatever it is. It may be an addiction of some sort. But there are those that don't seem to go away no matter what we do. They have become part of our identity itself. So the only way to conquer these demons is to let go of who we think we are. To be willing to die to the self that we think we are. And as we die, the demon will disappear. And we will not disappear. Now, our former identity may disappear, but you will not disappear. Okay? There's a difference between you and your identity. And most of us have those two fused, you see. But the identity is tied up with the demon. If we can die to the identity, we will die to the demon as well. And those of you that have been involved in 12-step programs know that that's part of the process, giving one's life over completely to one's higher power or to some power greater than oneself, to surrendering not just one's way of life, not even just a way of thinking or acting, but it's our entire being, surrendering it to a higher power, to an unknown power, to something we don't know. And that feels like putting our head in the mouth of the demon. And sometimes it feels like that demon will bite our head off. But that ain't all bad. Sometimes the head is what gets us in trouble. It won't eat our heart. It'll free our heart. See? So when we dance with the demons with an open heart, open mind, open arms, that'll have some of them leave. But this dance of putting your head in the demon's mouth is like dancing in the fire. It's really the dance of purification. And it feels like we're going to be burned alive sometimes. But again, that's only the identity. That's only the conditioned self. Who and what you really are is actually purified and made stronger by the fire. You see, what's real is brought out. What's unreal is burned off. Now, I want to close by mentioning the most sublime and supreme dance of all, the most spiritual of all dances. And it's a dance called the Hokey Pokey. Okay? Now, if you know the Hokey Pokey, okay, how do we begin the Hokey Pokey? You put a hand in, you put a foot in, okay? Sometimes that's enough. All it needs is a hand and a foot. Sometimes that doesn't work, right? We need to put both arms in, or we need to put both legs in, or put your backside in, you know? Shake it all about. Sometimes that's enough. But how does it end? You put your whole self in. And that's ultimately the way this practice is we start out just playing with it. We start out making it a part of our life, and then a big part of our life, and pretty soon it becomes our whole life. And every core, every fiber of our being becomes part of the practice. So the bigger the demon, the greater the freedom on the other side. And I invite you to have fun, to enjoy the dance.